I'm sure you've had stories like that too, to where someone's like such a big fan of you, HMK, something so simple as answering their question in a live chat or something gets them so excited. They're like, oh my gosh, this made my whole day. And all you did was answer their question.
So I had a similar story to the stories that you guys are telling about. So E3, it was last year. It was not last year. So E3 2018. Now this story was just like wild. We were in the Square Enix area, and that was around the time that we were ready to play March 3 at the premiere event, because E3 was a month afterwards, right? So there we were hanging around, and you know, like everyone was like, "Oh my goodness, the Keykeepers and like they're here and stuff." And we had a great time meeting all these fans and stuff, and it was a really cool experience. So then, Churro was there, and Churro is basically regarded as the grandfather of Kingdom Hearts content creation, like because before any of us, it was him. It was him who started this before YouTube was a thing with Kingdom Hearts 13. So he was like the grandfather of it all, right? And we're really good friends with him. He messages me on Twitter. Is like, hey, I have a fan that wants to meet you. I'm like, oh, dope. That's awesome. Like, who is it, right? And then he says, oh, it's like I keep messing up her last name. It's 𝐅𝐿𝐼𝐳𝐬𝐿, right? 𝐅𝐿𝐼𝐳𝐬𝐿. I'm like, 𝐅𝐿𝐼𝐳𝐬𝐿. I'm like, I've heard like. You mean the voice actress? And then she's like, and he's like, yeah. And I'm like, what? Like, she's a fan of me. So for those who don't know, that's the voice actress who voices Lady On in Persona 5, and among a lot of roles. But like Panther, like everyone loves her as Panther. And she also voices Yumiko in 𝐭𝐭𝐞𝐫, that the Gamble anime, Gamble Freak, whatever. So then I rush over to her. I rush over to them, and she's like, "Hi." I'm like, "Oh, it's so nice to meet you." She's like, "I'm such a huge fan." I'm like, "You're a fan of me? No, that's not how it works. Like, I'm a fan of your work. Like, no." And she's like, "No, I'm such a huge fan." It's like, then why did you come say hi to me? He's like, "I'm so scared." I'm like, I was scared. I was shy. I'm like, "No, once again, this is not how it works. Like, I'm shy of you." Like, so it was really nice. We hit it off. You know, we follow each other on Twitter. You know, I'm proud to call her a friend. It's just like, you know, those funny stories where it's just like small world, right? So then, when my friend of mine finds out, and my friend loves her, right? And he's like, like we're hanging out, and he taps me, and then I'm like, "Yo, what's up?" And it's like, "You didn't tell me that you know Erica?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Erica, how's she like?" She's like, "Yeah, I love her. Like, why don't you give me an autograph?" How's like, friends? I'm like, "Dude, like, relax. Dude. Like, next time, I'll ask." I'm like, relax. And then he's freaking out because like if you go to his room, it's just like Persona stuff all over the place. And I'm like, next time I'll see what I can do. I got you, but like,
calm down.
Dude,
that happened with one of my friends, Jared's friend, who's another content creator. He loves Markiplier, right? And I want to call myself and Markiplier like, you know, like acquaintances, because like every time we see each other at parties, because like, you know, I love Markiplier's content. I'm not like over the moon for Markiplier. I'm not taking anything away from Markiplier. Like, I know this crazy for his content, and I'm like, but for me, I'm like, "Hey, Markiplier, how you doing, man?" That's me. But like when I see John, I'm like, "Yo, John!" but for me, Markiplier, like, "Hey, look, hey, Markiplier, what's good?" So it's gotten to the point where I've seen him so many times where like I would say we're comfortable around each other, to the point we recognize each other, we know of each other. But like, you know, I'm not gonna be like on Twitter, I'm like, "Yo, Markiplier, you want to go get some donuts?" It's not like that. But it's to the point where like, "Hey," and he's like, "Hey." So then at one point he's like, "Yo, you know Markiplier like that?" I'm like, I wouldn't say no, I'm like that, but I mean, like, I'm not afraid of him, if that's what you're asking me. He's like, "Dude, can you get me an autograph from Markiplier?" I'm like, I'll see what I do. So I go up to Mark. I'm like, "Hey, Mark, how you doing?" "Hey, man, how you doing?" It's like, "How long has it been?" I'm like, "A couple of months." And then it's like, "Hey, listen, I didn't ask you a favor. I have this friend that's a gigantic fan of you. I know you get this a lot, but can I get that autograph?" And then he's like, "Oh man, no problem, dude. Like, look, I got you." And then autograph, they're done, easy. I go up to the dude, I'm like, "Okay, here you go." And then he's like, "Bro!" And I'm like, you good? It's like, thank you. I'm like, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. So then that's my take. So yeah,
dude. So the
awesome.
the thing you said, I'm trying to look for the picture now while I tell this, but it was the exact same thing where the person was like, "Oh my God, you're a friend of this person." So at E3 last year, we were all standing around. It was actually it was most of the Chamber of Sages people. So it was like me and Conrad from Commonwealth Realm and Dr. Wiley and some of the other people, and my friend Lisa was there, and like it was the first time that her and I had met in person. She was like a big Zelda fan and a fan of the YouTube channel and stuff, and I had her do a video one time, and then anyways we were hanging out with her, and then she was like, "Oh crap, I gotta go meet up with one of my friends." And we're just like, "All right, that's cool, we'll chat with you later." And then she what was it, we seen, oh, what's his name, Trent, what's his name, the translator for Aonuma.
Oh yeah.
Bill Trennan.
Yeah, Bill Trennan. Yeah. So we see him walking around, and
oh man, Bill, like
Daniel is the one, the other co-host for the podcast. He's the one that spots him. He's like, "Oh my God, that's Bill Trennan!" And we go over to say hi, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I can't take a picture right now. I'm kind of late. I gotta go meet a friend." And we don't cross the pictures or whatever. And then we're walking around, and we get to like the very front of the Nintendo booth, because we were in the back of the, like behind it where the restroom and the line to play Link's Awakening began. And then we were in the front, like where you exit the Luigi's Mansion place. Yeah. And then there's like a second floor that you can kind of see where all of the executives and everyone is. And I look up and I'm like, "Oh, that's Lisa." And then I see she's talking to Aonuma. And I'm like,
what?
Like my brain just explodes. And I'm like, I look at Daniel, and Daniel looks at me, and Daniel's like, the friend she had to go meet was Bill Trennan. Bill Trennan.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, how do you even become friends with him?
It's a small world. Small world.
And she's like, I guess because she lives in like Washington, so she's like near the Nintendo place, right? And she is, I would call her a professional comedian, because like she literally travels the entire world. You can find her on Twitter to like find someone who does a lot of great jokes about video games and stuff. Her name's Lisa Wallen. Do you follow her?
Oh no, I was gonna say I actually have I have a short story where someone met someone pretty big, and that involves you, HMK. Can I tell it real fast?
Yeah, go ahead.
It was actually, and it's a good story. Don't worry.
Here we go.
So it was actually how we met. It was E3 2015 when we were waiting in line for
a while ago.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It was we were in line because me and my friends, we went to E3 specifically for the new trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3. Like
no. You went there just to meet HMK. Don't lie.
I mean, okay, I missed it. But it's like, so it's like that's one reason why I even went to E3 was for Kingdom Hearts. So we knew we had to go to the line early. We get there at like 9 a.m. or something. We get there at line. There's like 2 other people there. We're waiting, and then HMK and his whole posse just show up. Like,
posse.
Oh no, so dude,
you had like 5 people with you. I was like, oh, cool.
Here it is. If you guys can see that picture.
I see it. Yep.
That's her up on the stage, hanging out with Aonuma.
That is, wow.
That's it.
And I'm like, how do you even do that? Anyways, continue.
So we get to chatting about Kingdom Hearts, and so we're all nerding out. But then they tell everyone, you guys have to go. You can't get in. You can't get in and get out. We're like, fine, we will leave. So we're getting ready to leave, and my friend Cameron, he's like, Momo, wait. I'm like, what's wrong? He starts following you, HMK, and your whole crew. And I'm like, what's wrong? He was like, I want a picture with him. I'm like, the guy with the red hair? Like, yeah. I'm like, then go ahead and ask a picture from me, because at the time I didn't know who you were at the time. So he's like, I can't, I'm too shy. I'm like, I got you. So I walk up to one of your friends. I'm like, hey, what's his name? And I didn't get your attention. I'm like, hey, my friend here's a big fan of you. And as I'm asking you a picture,
I remember that.
like,
Yeah.
Hey, aren't you Mo Chalk? I'm like, you know me? Like, hey, what's up? So thanks. So thankfully, we surprisingly knew each other, and then we got my picture. My friend got the picture with you, and we hung out the rest of the day together. I'm like, I like this guy. He's cool. What's your YouTube? Follow, subscribe, and that's how we became friends and met.
Sweet.
No, I gotta admit this. Like, low key, I don't know if that's the right word to use right now, but even I right now am inside excited and just honestly, I'm honored to have you on HMK because
thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah. When people say that, I'm like, guys, no, you guys make too much of a big thing. I'm like, I'm just
no. People do this to me. Like I've went through the exact same thing to where people are like, oh man, I watch your videos all the time. Every time you upload a new video, it's the first thing I do. Whenever I go to work, whenever I'm like in the back stocking cans or whatever they're doing, whatever their job is, they're like, I got the podcast on. I'm listening to it. I love all of you guys. You guys are so funny. They're like, we don't even care about the topics. Whenever you get off topic, that's when it starts getting funny, which obviously, HMK, you can see we've gotten off topic quite a bit. But
it's not my fault. Don't blame me.
No. That's the good thing. That's what they say is like, that's what they like, because that's when it's like, oh, you can tell they're real people. They're not just like faking it and trying to play or whatever. So with that, like there's been a bunch of times when people have, done that with me before. It's like, oh man, I can't believe like last year at E3 there was times when it was like for an hour straight when we're just walking down hallways, like people are just coming up, they're like, oh my god, can we take a picture with you? And it's just like an incredible feeling. So with you, what was the first time that someone came up to you or told you over Twitter or whatever that like you were their favorite YouTube content creator, or that your videos just helped them get through the day? Like, there's a lot of people with depression or anxiety, and they listen to the videos or watch the videos to get their mind off of it, and it actually helps them, almost like sort of like therapy, if you want to call it that, to help them get through the day. So like that feeling you get when someone tells you that they're that big of a fan of yours.
Man,
what
like,
is
honestly,
like the first time that you went through that, and then what would you say is also the biggest? So the two things. What was the first time, and then what was the most meaningful that you had?
The thing is, I can't answer that question properly because I don't want to sell any time that I've met a fan short to the point where like, oh, I rank this one higher than I rank that one, because I really don't want to do that, because every time a fan comes up to me and like, yo, you're HMK, I'm like, bro, you watch my stuff? What? So like it's that humbling experience, and it's something I tell people all the time, that I'll never get tired of it, and I'll never get used to the fact that people watch my content throughout, like in various parts of the country and various parts of the world and stuff. And that's why I don't want to really rank a specific time I've met a fan over another, because I don't want to sell an experience, any type of experience short, because like all of them are just so precious to me. And like it's like it's always like that same amount of hype that's like in me, to the fact that I'm like, wow, I have people that really enjoy my content to the point that they call themselves a fan of me, and I'm just making videos online and stuff. So every moment is just amazing, and it fills me with the same excitement and love throughout all the times where a fan comes up and meets me, and I hear their stories and I tell them mine and stuff. So that's the best way I can answer a question like that, because I don't want to say any experience is better than the other, but I could say some experiences that were funnier than the other. Which was,
go ahead, give one of those, and then
there's one example. There's one cool example where it was E3 2018, where I was by myself. I was trying to get back to I was going from the South Wing to the West Wing, and on the way there, a fan stopped me, and you can tell obviously that they're some sort of, they're not native, and that they I didn't want to assume, but they this guy was Japanese, right, and straight out of Japan too, like to the point he did not speak English. So he spoke to me in Japanese. I obviously can't understand him. I'm like, he's trying to tell me something. Like, I didn't know if he was asking for directions or if he needed to go somewhere, or he was asking like where I got my shirt or whatever. So then he obviously knew there was a language barrier. So then he went like this. He went like this. He was like, smash! And I'm like, oh! Like, you watch my stuff. And then like I shake his hand, we hug each other, and then he wanted to take a picture. And then I was like, oh, I'm like, in the best way I could say, I'm like, thank you. Like thank you for watching my video, arigato and stuff. And then he went his own way and went my way, and I'm like, that was really cool. And then like I kept going and stuff. And so that was a like one of the funnier experiences and stuff. And that's how they were able to overcome that language barrier. I'm like, that's neat.
Smash brings people together.
We got two things in chat, and then Geek can get her question out, and then we can move on to the thing. So Dragon King Gonzalez gives a $5 super chat saying, "Hello everyone.
Thank you.
How are y'all doing? I have a question about starting my own channel. Do you think making a character for the channel a good idea?" So like
is that directed at us or
directed like Bloxton and Noggin? Like how he has that little skull dude, or 𝐓𝐬𝐿𝐽𝐽 or like that?
Or like an avatar to represent
I hate everything?
If you're talking about like a picture, instead of like having your face as like the logo or the profile picture of the channel, if you want to get an avatar, like I have one, I think almost everyone basically uses one. Those are really cool, especially because you can change it up and get different ones. And then you can also put it on merch and sell it for shirts and stuff, or people, like you'll see people download it, have it as wallpaper and stuff, and that'll be cool. If you're talking about a character that you play, like the Angry Video Game Nerd, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. You just have to find what fits you best. But RMFH also has a comment, and he roomed with us during the E3 2018, which was the last one you were at, HMK, because it sucked last year without you. Like, it was basically the entire Chamber of Sages.
I went to Japan.
He was in Japan.
I was broke.
We all went out to dinner. It was my favorite restaurant. That I don't know if you guys. She was the last. I think she was the last guest we had on the podcast, Holly Wolf. She probably collaborated with us like more than anyone, and she's a big cosplayer. If you guys want to go check her out, and she also has a nice PG gardening channel. That's really good if you're into gardening, flowers and stuff. So you can go check out some of her Zelda cosplays and stuff. She's got some really good videos. But she introduced us to this amazing restaurant, and every time I go to LA, I always stop at the restaurant. And so Zeltic, or Ed, was sending messages like, "Hey guys, come hang out, come hang out, come hang out." And like the group, we were just busy doing different things, and finally we had free time, so we were like, all right, go to this place. It's like right next to where the LA Convention Center is. It's got really good food, blah blah blah. Like, so we all went there, and it was my group. We always do a big fan meetup when we're at E3, and we all have dinner. So it was like a few fans that came along.
That's
and
cool.
Then it was just really great because it was like my podcast team, aside from Geek, she wasn't able to come. And then we had a few fans there that were not just fans of us, but fans of like the whole Chamber of Sages. And the rest of them were there. But then, like, the one person that was missing, it was sad. But but I don't blame you for it. You went to Japan. Honestly, like if I had the chance to like E3 or Japan,
I
would probably
go
to Japan.
I would love to go there.
That's just an experience.
So good.
But yeah, 𝐷𝐼𝐴 in the chat. He says, meeting you at E3 2018 was so effing sick. I remember waiting in the KH booth for like 3 hours, hoping you'd still be hanging out near the booth. Now, again, Rick or 𝐷𝐼𝐴, he was rooming with us, and there was a few times that like we were walking by and you were standing in line and like talking to some people. I know you were with some of your Keepers crew, or and some of the other times you were with fans. But every time that I would see you, like I would see you like chatting with other people, and I'm like, okay, he's talking to fans. I don't want to like interrupt their special moment with him. So like I never got the chance to come up and hang out with you or say hi, but I met some of the other people, and it was a great time. But that's really awesome that like even Rick, who has his own successful channel, is like a big enough fan to where it's like, you know, he just hangs around or like keeps coming back just to have that chance to meet you in person. But yeah, so that was nice. So Geek, finish this off. I planned for this to be like 30 minutes, but it's just like so great.
This was supposed to be 30 minutes?
No, not the whole thing. Just your interview.
Oh, I like.
We have a lot to discuss.
Yeah. So go ahead with your thing.
Okay, I'm gonna try and turn my camera on one more time.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, no?
No.
Sending you my energy. No?
Well,
2 dots.
No.
well, fudge a duck. Okay. My question, I had to think of one. So I know you've done like a lot of reaction videos, and those are some of the most fun ones to do because it's spur of the moment, not scripted. Of all of the reactions you've had, which of the announcements would you say was, I don't know how to phrase this, like the most fun, was the most shocking, or was just your personal favorite, whether it was like the Kingdom Hearts DLC, Breath of the Wild 2, just which one was your, yes, this is the best thing I could have ever reacted to?
You know, God, there's so many at the top of my list and stuff. Breath of the Wild 2 easily is up there because I'm like, they're like, dang, the Nintendo's E3 has such a strong show. And then they're like, one more surprise. I'm like, man, one more surprise. What could it be? And at first, I'm like, it could be Metroid, it could be whatever. And then as soon as I saw the malice from the bottom, like Ganondorf's corpse, and then you see the spiraling. But I noticed the malice at the bottom. As soon as I saw that, like all the gears like clicked in my head. I'm like, no way, is it Zelda? Nah, right? And it turned out to be Zelda. That's easily one of my favorite reactions. Another favorite one had to be Banjo-Kazooie, because Banjo-Kazooie, man,
yes.
That's my childhood. That is my childhood. And you know, people had the audacity to say, man, look at these reactors only reacting to this character and probably never played Banjo-Kazooie. I'm like, excuse me.
Yeah, excuse you.
I bust out the Xbox and I'm like, Xbox, all achievements for Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie. I bust out my original console. I'm like, get out of here, bro. So that's really up there. But and of course, Kingdom Hearts 3, the first trailer that dropped in 2013, which I feel was like my first big true reaction ever. Yes. I was shirtless in that reaction. That was wild. But I guess my favorite reaction, it's tied. There you go. My top two, tied. My favorite reactions, my top reactions was E3 2015, when I was actually at the Square Enix conference, because they invited me a week before I went out to E3. It's like, oh, we would like to invite you cordially to the Square Enix. And I'm like, yo, I got a golden ticket. So then that whole experience was wild, because we went to the area where they were having the conference, which was actually in the hotel. You guys probably know it. That gigantic hotel that's right next to E3.
Yeah.
All right. So it was held there. And then we went there, and then it was in this ballroom. But before we get to this ballroom, there's this huge check-in barrier that just had gigantic Square Enix there. And I'm like, dang. And I'm like, so I have my invitation in my hand, but then I also had my girlfriend at the time, my fiance now, with me. And I'm like, And I'm like, we have. I hope they let you in. Where so then I kind of made it around to the fact I played around with the notion. I was like, oh no, she helps work with me in the channel. She helps with the camera and stuff. Is it cool that she comes in? She's part of my crew and stuff. And they're like, oh yeah, no problem, go ahead. And I'm like, hey, we go in, and as we go in, we get past the barrier, and the doors are still closed because it's still breakfast time, and they had this big breakfast buffet.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, you don't understand how long this buffet was. They had everything. The strawberries there were in the shape of hearts. So I'm like, yo, wow. I looked to my girlfriend, I looked to my fans, I'm like, yo, Kingdom Hearts 3 confirmed. I'm like, haha, Kingdom Hearts 3 confirmed, whatever. So then we're having breakfast, and they're like, okay, it's time to go in, and blah, blah, blah. And then I noticed as we're going in, Shinji Hashimoto was there. And he is the producer of Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts, well, former producer of Kingdom Hearts, but he's still attached to the Kingdom Hearts series, right? And I see him there, and I recognize him. I'm like, oh, I do a little, I stop him before we go in, I do a little bow. Can I take a picture? And then they're like, yeah. We take a picture. I'm like, all right, Shinji Hashimoto's there, right? We go inside, and that it was relatively small. And whatchamacallit, when that Kingdom Hearts segment came on, and they were talking about Union Cross, they was talking about Kingdom Hearts Key for a little bit, and then it got the name Unchained Key, and then it eventually became Union Cross later. But as soon as they're talking about like, oh, Kingdom Hearts, they were talking about it, and then they were just talking about it, and then out of nowhere, the huge back screen that they had just changed to the Kingdom Hearts 3 backdrop, where it showed Sora in his new Kingdom Hearts 3 outfit for the first time. As soon as I saw that, I was the only one in because like it was mostly filled with professionals, and as soon as I'm like, oh, and then everyone just stops and looks at me, and then Shinji Hashimoto's like, and then he gives me like a thumbs up, and I'm like, good, right? So then I felt I brought a good energy that they sorely needed in that press conference, because it was small. It's not like the press conference like in Sony where it's like this gigantic stage. It was like it was probably less than 100 people in that room, right? So then he's talking about how there's a trailer, and he puts up the trailer, and I'm hyping up this trailer, and I'm like, let's go. I see the trailer, I'm losing my mind. I'm recording it as well. I'm losing my marbles and stuff, but it was also being live streamed, right? So then after the trailer was over, I yell out, thank you, right? To the point where my voice can be heard on the stream. Before Hashimoto continues his speech, he goes away from the podium, he looks at me, and he bows to me, and I'm like, what the like, ah! Then after everything's said and done, I look on Twitter, and then like Twitter's blowing up. I'm like, bro, was that you? Like, was that you yelling? I'm like, yeah, that was me. And then everyone's like, and then I see other reactions on YouTube that are saying that heard me, and they're like, bro, that's HMK. And they're like, yo, that's HMK. I know it is. I'm like, that's his voice. That's what he sounds like. It's like, yo, HMK is a man. Everyone like on Tumblr and Twitter is like, yo, the thank you guy, the hero we never needed, but the hero we didn't deserve, but we always needed and stuff. And I'm like, and then it's funny because some people on Tumblr and Twitter tried to take the credit as like, oh, I was the thank you guy. And I'm like, haha, I recorded, fools. No, that's me.
I got
and then that's my favorite reaction, tied with the Breath of the Wild final trailer. That trailer was the best. That hands down is the best Zelda trailer of all time. And my reaction was bonkers off the wall. The fact that we got launched like 3/3/2017. I'm like, it's over. That trailer was bonkers. The announcement was bonkers. It was the last trailer. It was the Switch reveal event. It just, everything fell into place. And then I'm like a madman. I was like, oh man, what am I doing reacting to this? I have to get on a plane the next day to go to New York to play this thing. And I lost so much sleep. And oh my goodness, because like I got that email from Nintendo where it was like, so you know that the Switch premiere event is like on Japan, but is showcasing in Japan. Would you like to go and test Nintendo Switch for the first time in a New York event? I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. When is it? The day after. And I'm like, you realize that this Switch premiere event is in Japan time, right? And then I'm like, all right, fine. So I'm reacting to this, and I'm like, internally, like externally and internally, I'm happy about this, but also internally, I'm like sobbing on the inside. I'm like, I have to wake up early for my plane ride. Oh no! Like,
that's awesome, man.
And
that's so great.
the very next morning, I had to jump a plane, and then I went to New York and I played the Switch at the event, and so that's to answer your question.
Yes, I love it. And that last trailer was so freaking cinematic too. It was just
I loved it.
Thank you, Don R in the chat for the $20 super chat. So excited for Breath of the Wild 2. Yes, that's our next discussion. But I had a similar story. This keeps happening. I don't know why. HMK, like every time you say something, it's like I got a similar story to it. So you're talking about like how you were heard on that stream. So at that same building for the past couple of years. I don't know if it was in 2017 or whatever, but it was after. It was the 2018 E3, and Jeff Keighley always does the YouTube live or gaming live, Splice, whatever it's called on the YouTube channel, and it's just like interview after interview. They just interview almost everyone, and so they have a thing to where you can get a wristband if you're like media or important or whatever, and it's basically just to get important people that other people would recognize to be in the background, and because they're inside, and then there's a patio outside where they have drinks and stuff, and Holly Wolf brought us over there, and we were all hanging out and sitting around and stuff, and then Daniel and I were just like, oh, let's like go inside and see like what all's in there or whatever. And we end up like security for some reason was not doing anything, and Jeff Keighley was interviewing Hideo Kojima. So if any of you want to go find it on YouTube, it was that interview, but that interview lasted for like an hour or two. And sometimes in the background you can like see us walking back and forth. But the funny part is I think we were looking for like the restroom or something, and we went through the curtain or the door or whatever, and then it's like 15 feet away from us is the set where like all the cameras are like pointed away from us and like towards Kojima and everyone. Like we're basically in the room, but the room's like kind of split into two. And we were on the side that had like all of the switchboards and computers and everything that all the signals were running through, and no one was saying a thing to us. And Daniel was like, I don't think we're supposed to be here. And then I was looking around, and like no one else was even like near where we were. It was like everyone was like away from it just in case they accidentally did step on a cable or something. And I was like, we have to be very careful so we don't get arrested or something. Oh, jeez. So we like snuck back out and everything, but it was the craziest thing because like you want to stay there because you're like, it's Kojima. And then
right, but like, you don't want to like
you don't want to get in trouble and then like get kicked out and like not be able to come back. But it was a really great story. But anyways,
can I ask my question?
Sure.
My question is regarding Twitch. Just because that Twitch has been my focus full time now, because unfortunately my YouTube channel got taken down. Unfortunately,
I heard about that. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, it happened in December. It was over Just Dance, because I do a lot of Just Dance videos. Yeah. So I've just been focusing on Twitch now full time, and it's been going pretty good for me. I just hit 420 followers, yay! And I just got 50 subs, yay! So I'm pretty happy about that. So just like, because my setup right now, HMK, is inspired by yours. 2 monitors here, the Elgato, the key light, the capture card, the mic, everything. So it's like, what would you say for aspiring Twitch streamers? How to like just reach for those higher numbers and just do better overall as a streamer?
Oh man, the biggest advice I have about this, and then people constantly disregard it because there's always those content creators who are like, yeah, but what's the easy way to do it, right? So there's always those people. The biggest advice for aspiring content creators, there's 2 huge things that people have to understand before getting into the nitty-gritty when it comes to Twitch. One, consistency. You have to stream consistently at least 3 times a week. More the better, right? consistency. All right. And 2, you have to, and this is one thing I see all the time when it comes to like people that are streaming and they're like, oh, why is my stream not going anywhere? Why is my stream numbers not going up? Why is my stream not? The one thing I see all the time that they're like, why? I'm like, well, that's why. Stay active on stream. Keep talking. You have to learn how to talk to yourself if you're not streaming with other people. You have to keep engaged in the chat. You have to keep talking. Even if your chat's not active or not going, keep talking. As soon as there's like dead air or dead noise on your stream, people will leave. You have to keep talking. Keep yourself active in the chat. Keep yourself active when playing the game. Learn to talk to yourself. Bring up topics. Talk about whatever. Just keep talking. All right. That's one thing that I see all the time when people are like wondering, why is my Twitch thing's not going anywhere? And I see their streams and they literally, and there's people who don't say anything for like an hour. And I'm like, where is it? Like, where is the stream? Like, okay, yeah, of course you're playing a video game, but that's literally not even half the battle, because in content creation, especially Switch, you're also crafting a personality. You're crafting something around why people should watch your stream individually, and a lot of people misconstrue that where it's like, oh, they're going to watch the game. No, they're going to watch you play the game. So you have to give them a reason why to watch you play the game. So when people are streaming and they stream and they just don't say anything, they're playing the game and they're just like, they don't say anything for like an hour. I'm like, why are you wondering why your numbers are low? Stay active. Learn to talk to yourself. That's the two biggest things I have to say when it comes to like advice on Twitch. Yeah.
To go along with that, I want to say, like, when you play a game on Twitch, there's probably dozens, if not 100 other people playing the game. If it's like a popular one, most people, like there are some people that genuinely just want to check out the game. Doesn't matter who's playing it, they just want to see what the game's like for a few minutes. But most of the people aren't coming to watch you because you're playing Breath of the Wild or because you're playing whatever, Grand Theft Auto or whatever it may be, Kingdom Hearts. They're coming because they accidentally came across you, and then they happen to randomly click on your video, and they're there to watch they're there to watch you and your personality. Like, they connect with you. They could be watching anyone else playing in the game, but they're there watching you. Yeah, hey, we were just talking about you earlier.
Hi.
But on Twitch, they're there just to, like, they want to feel like they are a part of a community. So the constant talking, like HMK was saying, is super important with that. Even if it's just like one person in the chat, or 10 people, or 20, as long as you, like, say their name, make them feel important, make them feel like they're part of the community. That's why.
Right. That's very important. Community building, super important in Twitch.
Yeah.
Super important.
Because there's tons of people that have hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of subscribers on YouTube, or over 100,000 subscribers, or maybe they're on Twitch, whatever.
Yo, Holly, Jesse was talking smack.
Oh yeah, it was just the most horrible stuff. Like, you.
So offensive for my virgin ears.
Yeah, it was just you were getting a little too close to Cliff when you came over. No, I think Cliff is in the chat too. No, so when they're watching, they want to feel engaged, and there's tons of people that have tons of subscribers that just absolutely get ignored. And, like, it's as if they don't care. Like, they don't appreciate what they have. There's tons of people that actually love their community and they want to build it, but they only have like 10, 15 people watching every day, when there's people with like thousands of people watching. and they don't pay attention to the chat at all. Like, yes, it's going fast, but you can turn it on like slow chat mode to where you can see it, but yet they still ignore it. Like, every now and then they might glance over and be like, oh, hi, blah, 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 welcome. But most of the time they're just basically commentating or repeating on what they're doing in the game instead of actually talking to their chat. And that's the most important thing, is that people want to feel like they are a part of the community. They're
For sure.
special.
Like that's one. Oh, I was gonna say, like, that's one thing I do is I make sure I go back like a few pages up and make sure every single comment gets read. You know, because that's one thing that I don't like when that happens to me on other people's streams. So when I see someone comment and it's been like a good 2 minutes, I'll rewind the chat up a bit and just go through the comments real fast, make sure everyone's comment got read. Because that, to me, I want to make sure that their voice is heard, you know?
Yeah. So Geek was giving the story earlier when she was just a normal fan of the YouTube channel. And
normal.
Well, like, you know, just like
I know what you mean.
And like, she would comment on videos and stuff, and then at the end of the podcast we have our Q&A, and then we title the Q&A section, that video, we just title it over whatever the first question we answer or whatever the best question that we answer is. And one day it was hers, and she, like, you know, she was talking earlier, like, it made her day. Like, she couldn't believe that, like, her question got answered, her name got said. And, like, that's all it takes, is, like, people, like, to you, it's just, like, it's nothing. Like, you're just saying their name, like, why would that be such a big deal? But to some people who watch you every day, like, you saying their name or answering them being recognized, appreciated, it makes them, like, that could completely turn their day from like a bad day to a great day. So that's the most important thing to go along with what HMK was saying. But let's start the Breath of the Wild thing so we can hurry up with this. I'm sorry it took so long, guys. We'll probably have to split that interview into like 2 different videos. Anyways, so
right. No, that's fine. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Do you have like 30 more minutes though to make sure? Because
I'm good. I'm chill.
All right.
Hey everyone, it's me again, 𝐅𝐿𝐼. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. And you know what? If you're a fan of videos like this, you should totally subscribe and give this video a like and comment below to let us know what type of videos you would like to see us create in the future. And if you would really like to support all of us here at the �GameOverJessie channel, please consider purchasing a �GameOverJessie t-shirt or becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/�GameOverJessie, where you can receive many rewards, such as getting shoutouts, having any topic or theory that you select discussed on the podcast or made into its own video, having your question answered, joining on as a guest on the podcast, and playing with us during our Twitch live streams at twitch.tv/�GameOverJessie, and much, much more.